Welcome back to Simply Fujica. If you are looking for awesome home care content, then I think you found the right place. My name is Fujica and I serve this community as a business mentor, and ultimately I help people achieve receiving their non-medical home care agency licenses. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. Do not forget to sign up for my once a year home care licensing course that I have every year. If you are serious about achieving your home care license, not only getting licensed but actually starting your home care business, then this is the course for you. Secondly, I want to remind you that we do have our community. It is up and running. These are for my entrepreneurs that really want to talk all things home care. So information for both of those things will be in the video description. But today, I have a good video for you. We are talking about payroll. I want to talk about payroll today because yes, we want to talk about licensing. Yes, we want to get licensed. But I'd like to remind you, once you're licensed, it's time for you to run your business. And part of your running your business is paying your employees. So today I want to talk about those aspects of payroll that you need to know as a home care agency owner. So if that's something that you're interested in, and I hope that it is, then stay tuned. So the first thing I want to do today is talk about what is payroll. And I think the obvious response is this is paying your employees for the hours they worked. But payroll also includes calculating the taxes that are associated with the hours that your caregivers are working. It's responsible for tracking the hours that your caregivers are working. It will also help you with issuing those paychecks that your caregivers deserve. So I think when we think of payroll systems, the obvious thing that jumps out at people is this is how you're going to pay your caregivers. But there's so much more. Having the right payroll system allows you to track the hours that your caregivers worked. The system will calculate and withhold the necessary taxes that your caregivers need to pay. It does issue the paychecks that your caregivers have earned over that pay period, but it also assists when you filing the appropriate state, federal, and local state agencies. Now, specific to a home care agency, it's a little bit more complex. And the reason why it's more complex is because your caregivers could be going to different homes. You may be paying them mileage based on the homes and different places that they are going. And then, as we all know, you may be paying your caregivers to take care of your clients overnight. So as you can imagine, trying to handle all of that manually can be done. However, it can be costly if you do this incorrect. By you having a payroll system, that system handles all of those complexities for you. Let's transition over to why this is so important. I think we've kind of already touched on the first one, which is making sure that you are legally compliant with how you're paying your caregivers. And again, this is something that a lot of us are not well versed in until it's time to do it, right? So now that we've talked about what payroll is and all that entails, let's transition over to why it's so important. Now, the number one thing is we do want to make sure that we're paying our people adequately. And that kind of bleeds over into our first reason, which is you want to make sure that you are legally compliant. So there are strict labor laws that really govern how we pay our caregivers. Some of those laws include minimum wage, overtime, things of that nature. Failure to comply with those laws can lead to audits, fines, penalties, etc. So you really want to make sure that you sign up for the appropriate payroll system in order to handle that compliance for you. The second thing, and this is big, caregiver retention. Listen, no one is working for free, and no one's going to work for a place where they are getting inconsistent pay. Maybe they get paid on Wednesday one week and Saturday the next. So having a payroll system allows you to have the consistency that both your caregivers desire and you need. So tax obligations. You're an employer now. So not only are you responsible for your employee withholding, but as an employer, you should be paying taxes as well. So your payroll provider will play a big part in making sure that the necessary reports are filed, but also the correct amount of taxes are being withheld. Business reputation. Your payroll practices impacts your reputation. And so how consistent you are with paying people really lets prospective clients prospective caregivers know that not only are you running a stand-up business, but your business is professional, it's consistent, and you know what you're doing as a home care agency owner. Okay, so next we're going to talk about what are some of those key payroll components that's needed when we're talking about paying your caregivers. And the first is timekeeping. So you all have heard me talk on this channel a lot about, initially when you start, it's kind of lean. And so some of these processes are going to be manually done. So you're really at the mercy of that caregiver and the client to ensure when that person comes in and signs in, they're putting the right time, right? When you have a system, it's so much easier for that person to actually clock in, either utilizing their cell phone or some type of iPad that you might have situated for them to clock in and out. So remember, timekeeping is so important because you want to make sure that you're capturing all of the work that your caregiver is doing. With that being said, that second component that we're talking about here is those wage and labor laws. So again, making sure that you're sending out reminders, making sure that you're actually monitoring the times in, the times out. Are they taking the appropriate rest breaks, lunches, things of that nature? So just your system will be set up with those rules and laws to help you manage that timekeeping process. Whatever payroll system you utilize is so important to make sure that you are recognizing and working within those wage and hour laws. Third, let's talk about a payroll schedule. So typically, caregivers are paid every week or every 2 weeks. It's really up for you to decide operationally how you want to pay your caregivers, how often you want to pay your caregivers. But whatever that is, you want to make sure not only that that caregiver is aware of what your pay schedule is, but what does it take to get that? So for instance, if they are paid every 2 weeks on Friday, when is payroll due? At what time? What does your process look like if maybe they missed a punch or that punch is incorrect or maybe they never clocked out for lunch? What does that look like for your agency? And then if they have to get their time cards in by Tuesday, does that mean you as a business, you're submitting their payroll on Wednesday so that they can get paid on Friday? These are the types of things that you will work in conjunction with your payroll provider, but then you're going to be communicating that information to your caregivers. It's real important that whatever payroll system or service you acquire, that they are well known, they've got some reviews that you can look at, and they really have a good reputation. So I have heard of people signing up with newer web-based options and that just not working out for whatever reason. So I always like to suggest that whatever the payroll provider is, they should be able to provide you a demo of how the system works. You should be able to look up reviews. What are people saying? What are the pain points? So that way, if you do get into the sales process, you can ask your agent about that pain process. How have they worked through that? Are there any workarounds around it? These are the types of questions that you want to have as you look at potential payroll providers and or services. Let's talk about tax filing and reporting. So as an employer, you will be filing your 941s and your W-2s for your W-2 employees. So remember, what I love about this is this payroll provider, they're going to file those items on your behalf, but remember, they are ultimately your responsibility. So you want to make sure whoever you have partnered with, whoever you have decided to go into business with, that you understand the processes. Because even though the provider is taking care of those actions for you, there's going to be some work that you need to do in order for them to file timely on your behalf. Those are the types of things you want to ask that payroll provider and make sure you're in the know of once you start that payroll relationship. Worker classification, I have done a video on W-2 versus 1099 employees. Make sure you have done your own research on the difference and what are the tax liabilities as a result of whichever one you go through. But the main thing is you want to make sure that your caregivers are classified correctly in your payroll system. If they are not, that can serve as a red flag, a potential red flag for the IRS. So let's spend some time talking about best practices. So the first is you want to do regular audits. And I have done a video before. Make sure you take a look, probably a couple years ago now, so I might need to do a refresher, but just making sure that you're standing up a compliant organization. Your payroll is no different. You want to do audits to ensure that the output based on the information that you have put on into the system is correct, is timely. So you just want to get into some type of cadence on the type of reports that you're running. Again, this is something that your payroll provider will talk to you about. You do want to stay current on labor laws because they do change quite often. So you want to make sure that you speak to a labor law attorney or sign up for webinars, things of that nature, to really help you keep abreast of what's changing as it relates to labor law. Thirdly, you want to train that office staff. So whoever is doing the payroll, they should know those timelines that you and I already discussed just a few minutes ago, but also what are the regulations around overtime, breaks, things of that nature. They should know the importance of making sure that those things are adhered to. Invest in good software. Woo, that could not come at a better place in this video. Again, you want to make sure that whoever you partner with is not a fly-by-night system. You want to make sure you understand the reputation around these systems, around these providers, and you do want to read those reviews. What are customers saying? So all of that is so important and will help you make your decision. So I'm so excited to announce that I am in partnership with ADP. You all know that ADP is a trusted payroll provider. There is a reason why you continue to hear their name year after year after year, and it's because they are trustworthy. So I really want to make sure if you are either looking for a payroll provider or if you are looking to change from the current provider you have, you really want to take a serious look at ADP. And you all know I wouldn't be talking to you about ADP if they did not have a good deal for you. So for the whole entire month of May, if you sign up for ADP, you will get 6 months free. So guess what? 6 months, not only is that half a year, but you can imagine how much money that's saving you. I have worked with several payroll providers. I have never received 6 months free. So you can't just sign up with them directly and get this. You really have to come through me. If you are interested, you can either simply type interested in the comments. You can email me at simplyfujica@yahoo.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at simplyfujica. Let me tell you something. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. 6 months free is nothing to laugh at, okay? And also, do not forget, in addition to payroll services, you can get your insurance that is needed to run your business, and you can also start retirement accounts, okay? So I'm super excited to be able to bring this to you and to this community. Please make sure you take advantage of it. So if you enjoyed today's video, I would appreciate it if you like today's video, subscribe to the channel, and then hit that bell notification so that you're notified each and every time I drop a new video. Listen, one more thing. I have started a new channel. For those of you who have followed me for some time now, you know that I started and finished a life coaching program. Not only a life coaching program, but a Christian life coaching program. And I would appreciate if you pull up the Abundant Place, take a look at the video that I've dropped there, and subscribe to that channel for more videos. Listen, I want to thank you so much for continuing to support me, this channel, my business, and all of the things that I put out. So I really appreciate this community. Thank you so much for all that you do, and most of all, stay blessed.